and gents, welcome to the MoneySet YouTube channel and podcast. My name is Marc. I'm here with Leo and Jay, and today we are going to talk about expense, how to control your expenditure. So personal finance is in a way very simple. You have your income, so you should try to maximize as much as you can your income. Then you have your expenditures, and you should try to minimize as much as you can. So the net result of income minus expenditure is your potential savings. So more savings you have, well invested, with the help of the compound interest, it will accelerate your potential financial independence and retirement early, as FIRE. So this is the topic we'd like to discuss, and I would like to request some comments from Jay related to the topic.
Yeah, so my first comment is related to the fact that for personal experience, I have maybe gone a bit too far trying to control my expenditure in order to follow the principle of the FIRE movement, which is to maximize your income, control your expense, as you said, and achieve this early financial freedom. But to the point where maybe when it comes to enjoying a good time with the family, going for night outs, for instance, good restaurants, I would sometimes restrict the family to this enjoyment. And I read recently a book from Grant Sabatier. He's an American guy. His book is called Financial Freedom, and he was advocating that you should not go to the point of sacrificing the daily pleasure. The example he gives is, for instance, like some people on their daily commute to work would stop spending, they spend these £3 for their Starbucks or Costa coffee.
Right. Okay.
And that gives them joy, and they really cherish this moment. In my case, when I go to work, there is a coffee machine, and I enjoy in the morning, first thing at my desk, having this cup of coffee.
Sure.
And he said, going to the point of cutting, even if it's £3 a day, times 200 a day, for instance, £600.
Yeah.
But so what? Okay, if it's what it bring you happiness, carry on with this habit. But there are other ways you can save an expenditure that are not painful, where you don't feel the sacrifice.
It's about the balance, isn't it?
Of course.
It's all about the balance.
Yeah.
Exactly. And things that comes to my mind is, the cost of being loyal to our
yeah.
suppliers, right?
Yeah.
So let's take this example. So the cost of insuring, the cost of the insurance, home insurance, car insurance, right? So you have the contract with them for 12 months, and then typically what happens is you will have an auto renew mechanism in place.
Yeah.
So if you leave it there, it's gonna auto renew and it's gonna cost you more money.
Yeah.
So one of the things that you can easily do in these cases, being either your energy supply, for your utility bills, your car insurance, your home insurance, anything related to your utility bills, you can easily go and switch your supplier. I mean, it has been demonstrated by research in many places that are available online, that if you do switch, you save money. So you can easily go to websites like USwitch, Compare the Market, things like websites like that, and in 10 minutes perhaps you are going to be able to save hundreds of pounds.
Yeah.
So in my personal experience, and actually we were discussing this with Shay the other day, where I believed I had a good energy deal because I went there and I did do the switch. But then Shay came to me and said, I've got this fantastic deal for my energy supplier. It's much better, more competitive. And I said, well, you're not going to beat mine. But it turns out that when we spent only 10 minutes of our time, we did the maths, we went to the website, we did the comparison, and we found a better deal that saved me almost £200. So easy actions that you can put in place to save money on things that they do have an impact, right? Because that could go easily for your £3 a day coffee that you really enjoy, or things like that.
Yeah.
But I think we are not talking about something that is very important as well, which is debt, right?
Yeah.
So maybe we can touch base on that.
On that, if I may comment on this one as well, there is it's well known that the personal finance
debt is bad.
Well, not systematically. There is things called bad debt and good debt. Okay,
Yeah, that's a good discussion.
so the example that you can have is that debt that you have for consumer loan, for instance, or even worse, credit card.
Oh yeah.
Especially credit card, even worse, store credit cards. You know, they charge a hell of money.
Yeah.
Okay,
High interest rates.
18%,
Yeah.
24%, and so on. And it gets even worse. The worse is your credit score, the higher you get charged. So that's quite unfair, to be fair, because if you're already a poor credit score, I mean you're already struggling financially to some extent, but they charge you even more because they see you as more at risk of defaulting on this debt. But it's a vicious circle. So the best thing is to avoid getting into this bad debt. But there is good debt because if you try to buy a house, I mean, it's really difficult to accumulate the savings and to pay for your mortgage in one go. So, to buy for the house. And as a result of that, it's better to go through a mortgage, and the interest you get today are very competitive.
Especially nowadays.
Yeah, it's
They are very,
bottom.
very low.
Rock bottom.
It's
I
a
managed
good
to
time.
get a deal for less than 2%.
Yeah. And the value goes up.
Yeah,
And
because you're buying an asset.
good-
You're
good debt.
buying an asset.
Yeah.
That is exactly the case. So that's the thing I wanted to touch upon the credit card.
Yeah, of course, there's something that we should all be aware, and we want to share our experience on that. So if you did a purchase on your credit card and you accumulated some debt, it doesn't mean that is necessarily a bad thing. The question is, how do you manage that, right? So if you are in a situation where after you built up some debt in your credit card and you believe that you will not be able to repay that, and then you will face a lot of interest because of the high interest rates that typically in credit cards you have, then there are ways that you can that you can use actually to shift the so-called shift debt using the so-called 0% balance transfer credit cards, where you can actually shift the debt that you have in one credit card to a new one, and they might give you between 12, 18, 24 months at 0%, where you can have more time to repay your debt. There are some commissions associated of transferring that debt into another one, but that's typically
2 to 3%.
yeah, it's quite low.
Which is much better than paying 18%.
Exactly. But there are some golden rules that you should follow in this case, so you don't get into more debt.
Yeah.
So, for example, you have to clear your debt before the 0% period runs out.
Yeah.
So, if it is 24 months, you need to make sure that by then you paid it off.
Yeah.
You at least need to repay the minimum balance every single month, because otherwise you will incur a lot of debt.
Yeah.
And
It's
this
more
thing,
and more, it will affect, if I may
Yes.
add, it will affect your credit score.
Yes,
It's important that you control and you monitor this credit score, because the higher the credit score you've got, the easier it is to borrow, if you need to, for mortgage, as you said, at a good rate. Okay?
Yeah.
You get penalized for missing these payments.
you're right.
Yeah.
And the other thing that comes to my mind is that you should avoid at all costs to withdraw cash on your balance credit card as well, because that's going to definitely be a bad thing.
Well, yeah, we are talking about controlling your expense, and we have not touched on this topic, but you should have at least a budget, so an expectation of where your money goes.
Yeah.
You should, because you should compare for something. If you have an expense or in terms of groceries, for example, which is one of the big expenditure for a family. If you spend, I don't know, 300-400 pounds a month, but you don't know or you don't control that, it may be 500 or 600 or 700. But if you have a history of how much you are spending, you should control yourself naturally. Another big expenditure that you have, as mentioned by Jay, mortgage. So, what is your interest in your mortgage? Is 2% or less than 2? Is 3? Is 4%? If it's a high percentage mortgage, you should pay attention on that, and maybe you have a deal. You can renegotiate your mortgage contract, and maybe you are paying, let's say, 3.5%, and you still have 12 or 15 months to go, and you can get maybe a 2% mortgage interest. And even if you have a payment fee, a penalty to stop the contract that you have today and get a new one, you may have saved some money.
You have to shop around as well.
Yeah.
Be aware of what's available and what makes sense for you, right?
So
that's
I think the secret is pay attention or your expense and try to reduce as much as you can.
And if I may also add on the point of the mortgage, if you do this renegotiation with your bank, and you switch either to the same bank or with another mortgage product or another bank, and you manage to reduce your expenditure on this mortgage. And let's say you were paying £800 and you manage to get down to £700 by just simply finding a cheaper interest rate. You create for yourself some breathing space.
Good point.
£100 more in your pocket every month.
Absolutely.
Which you should use, we believe at MoneySet UK, to invest.
Absolutely.
Not to increase your level of spending, but invest.
Keep your lifestyle as it is and get the extra money to invest. Compound interest. Financial independence. Retire early. Fine. So again, I think that was the message for today. Anything to add?
No, I was just, it was coming to my mind this fact that what would you do if you are in a job and then you get a salary increase, right? So what would you do? Well, typically the people would say, okay, I can spend more now. I can have a better car. I can have a bigger house. I can do that. This is what you need to be aware of. We believe that you can spend the money more wisely elsewhere than rather than going for a fancy car or things like that.
That has a name for it, by the way. It's called lifestyle inflation. So the more promotions or pay rise you got through your career, the more you spend. So there are things that you can't prevent. If you got kids, obviously your level of expenditure will go up. But there are other, some cases that it's just because you got the promotion or the bonus, and then suddenly, I'm going to have more expensive holiday, a bigger car, like you said. And we believe, I would not say it's a mistake, it's a people.
It's a choice.
It's a choice.
It's a choice.
We see that by reinvesting this extra, it makes a massive difference in achieving this financial freedom so early.
Great. I think it's a great way for us to close this nice discussion. So keep it low profile, increase your savings, reduce your expenditure. So that's we leave it there.
And follow us.
And follow us on
Please
our subscribe YouTube channel, our Facebook page, Twitter account. We'll be glad to get your messages and your comments and your suggestions. Thanks to be here, and we see you next time. Ciao.
Ciao.